record for my podcast. I'm broadcasting out of my favorite place, CP Communications in Red House Streaming, my home away from home. Don't you love the set? And today on the podcast, so excited because it's one of my absolute favorite topics, inspiring stories about incredible women. I changed the title here and there, but these women are so amazing, and they're joining me from California, from Hollywood. Talk about rock stars. All right, we have Jessica Everleth, who is at the very bottom, on the bottom. What is that? Right. My right.
Right.
We have Rebecca Sirmons, and we have Theresa McKeown. Did I pronounce it right, Theresa?
McKeown.
Yeah, McKeown.
McKeown.
I pronounced it right.
Yes.
Okay, I pronounced it right.
I know.
Rehearsal. Theresa McKeown.
I know.
Rehearsal. And then on air, I screwed up. And Rebecca, okay, can I tell you, your child, every time I see pictures of her, I want to, like, take her from that picture and give her a hug and a kiss. Oh, my gosh. She's
Let me
so
tell
cute.
you.
She's so cute.
The best thing I've ever produced, by far.
Oh, your child. Your little girl. What is her name?
Helen Ray Sirmons, and Sirmons is the last name.
Oh my God! Did I get your name wrong too? Oh, you know why? Because I don't have my glasses.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
We're all wearing glasses for you.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I was telling the team here. Okay, here are my glasses. Rebecca, I'm so sorry that I got that. How could I? So here's my glasses too, girls.
Yeah. See, I can't. Yeah.
Very nice.
But you know what? I think, and what I love about podcasts, because you can be honest, you can be open. I think truly, I was so nervous about screwing the names up that I screwed them up. Because of course I know exactly who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so for followers here in Tampa, these guys are, it's what, 9 o'clock in the morning right now in California, right? You guys are joining me from California. I want to start with Jessica. I want you guys each to share about what you do and more about what you do. And Jessica, I want to start with you because, you know, you're the one on my first podcast that I did here. I did give you a shout out. You said you were watching, and I really appreciate it. But you gave me my first shot as a national producer. So thank you.
Oh, well, you helped us out.
Tigers, Lies, and Cover Up. But tell us about you.
You were great. Thank you. I'm an executive producer, showrunner. I work a lot in true crime and documentaries. I worked on Joe Exotic with Sarina and Rebecca and Theresa. Before that, I did Surviving R. Kelly and just a long list of other true crime programs and documentaries.
And you won a Peabody too. Oh my gosh.
I did.
Yes. I mean, all of you guys are award winners. All of you. Okay, Rebecca, tell us about you.
Okay, well, I'll say my first job right now is a mom. That's probably the most difficult job I have right now. But I'm the Vice President of Development at Conveyor Media. I'm also, GLAAD Award winner. That's probably one of my second most, one of my best accomplishments. I got started at the Ellen DeGeneres show. I worked there for several years. Was development executive at El Rey Network with Robert Rodriguez. And also I am a Florida native. So born and raised in the Panhandle in Panama City. I have family in St. Pete and Tampa. But I meeting Jessica and Theresa and working with them on Joe Exotic was probably one of the best producing experiences that I've had in a long time, and it just felt like such a great team, and it's an honor to work with both of them. I mean, it's just an honor. So I'm just grateful that, and Sarina, thank you for having this amazing, platform for us, because it's all about, we won't rise unless we rise together, So, thank you.
No, absolutely. No, are you kidding? I can't wait to hear more. And the fact, I was going to ask you that you are a Florida native, but what I'm really excited about was when you said Tampa and St. Pete, which these studios, my office is in Tampa. I have offices in Tampa, and the broadcast studio is out of St. Pete, which means this gives me a better chance of meeting the little one, because I have a feeling you might be bringing
exactly.
Her, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Sirmons family are all over St. Pete. Sirmons Insurance. There you
Sirmons
go.
Insurance. Okay, Sirmons Insurance. I've got to look them up. No, but this is great because maybe you can actually come here personally on your next trip.
Yep.
To visit the
Absolutely.
studios. So
would be
so many
great.
questions for both of you. But Theresa, let's hear a little bit about you. Tell us about you.
Well, first of all, I am going to be in Tampa next week.
You are?
Coming down to, coming down. There's a judge down there, and we're doing a podcast together. So we're going to be recording over in your neck of the woods, and I'm super excited because I've never been to Tampa, so that's kind of fun. So yes, first of all, thank you for having all of us here because honestly, I love the way the world is going right now. It seems like women are coming together and just wanting to help each other, empower each other, and impact each other's lives. And I'm so on board for that. I can't even tell you. But yes, so yes, I met Jessica and Rebecca when I went to Conveyor with this Joe Exotic thing, because I had tried to do a reality show with him like in 2014 and didn't go anywhere. It's a whole long story there. But ultimately, we ended up, Conveyor Media ended up doing the, Joe Exotic Tiger's License cover up for ID. And it was phenomenal. And of course, I'm still in the Joe Exotic world. I can't seem to get away from it. He and I are now, I don't even know how to explain our relationship because it's not like we're buddies and we play tennis together, but I talk to him constantly. I talked to him the other night and, I just keep wanting to help him because I do think he was, railroaded. So I care about justice, and this is an injustice that's in my face and I can't stop not helping. But anyway, so I met Colin Whelan, who is the owner of Conveyor Media. We used to work together when I had a big production company in Los Angeles here. And I had that for like 11 years. It was called DME. And we had a great run and tons of cable and everything. And then I stepped away and wrote 3 children's books. And then I stepped back into the fray by doing Joe Exotic. So here I am.
Wow.
It's been quite a ride.
Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe Exotic, just to talk about him just for a little bit, and Theresa, as you were saying, you just talked to him yesterday. This is the month of March, and this is when I think, last year around this time is when this whole story, right? Yeah, broke, right? So now here we are a year later. Do you feel? People are still connecting with this story. Don't you feel that?
Yeah. Well, it's a fascinating story. His life is a fascinating story, and then it was so interesting. I was talking to him on a regular basis while he was in jail before he went to the actual federal prison. And so I was talking to him, before the trial, during the trial, after the trial, the shock of the sentence that he got, the 22 years and all that. But I was also there before the Tiger King came out and after the Tiger King came out. And it was a really amazingly interesting something to witness, to go from obscurity to worldwide fame, basically in a matter of a week, and to just witness that was a fascinating experience, and it was interesting listening to him, experiencing it as well. But, the frustrating part for him is he's not really getting anything out of it.
Right.
Everybody that was in Tiger King is doing quite well, but Joe's still sitting in prison eating bologna sandwiches. So
Gosh, wow.
Yeah.
So Jessica, with you, with all of you guys too, working to produce these shows right now, and in the current climate that we're living in, and I know California still remains shut down. Florida, we're much more open here. How difficult, and please all, feel free, any one of you, to weigh into any of these questions, but how difficult is that, and is that putting a halt on productions?
It slowed down in some regards, but I think we were very lucky that we were filming in Florida and filming in Texas, so we were able to move around and travel with our crew under COVID guidelines. But it was definitely challenging, and there was a lot of testing, and bought thousands of dollars worth of PPE to keep everyone safe. But it was an interesting way of producing television via Zoom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's really, I feel like in Hollywood and I here, in California, we really have to adapt, right? The show has to go on no matter what. And it really depends on the team you're working with, like how can everybody roll with the punches and just kind of take a deep breath and just keep moving and figure out a different way of working, not a better, not a worse, but a different way of working. And honestly, I feel like the content's going to improve. I feel like there's going to be kind of this giant boom of, and we're already seeing it, at the types of shows that are coming out. It's a different type of content that's coming out right now. Development wise, shows that are more kind of, there's more meaning behind them. It's not just, dark and, ratchet, and so I just find that the content's improving.
That's so interesting that you say that, because just a couple of weeks ago, we had a gentleman by the name of David Yates on the show, and Alex Harris, who is a singer. And David has brought a lot of movies to the Tampa area, including The Dolphin Tale 2. He also worked on The Blind Side. But going to your point, Rebecca, what he said that he feels the movie industry and the show industry is changing, that people are craving more stories about faith, hope, positive. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not agree with that more. And I do feel like the whole world has shifted just in consciousness alone, and that there's a little more kindness and a little more sense of personal responsibility, and that we are all in this together. You know what I mean? So I do feel that, and what Rebecca is saying is absolutely on point. And, and the thing about people that work in television, we're a type of personality that you're always absolutely ready for things to go sideways at any moment. Very resilient, right? Am I right, girls?
Absolutely, yes.
We live for it.
It's like, you're just like, you're always like ready for whatever's going to happen. You got to be ready. And, and I worked at Inside Edition for like 15 years. And, I'd walk into work in the morning and I never knew what the day was going to be like, and I mean, it was insane. So I feel like, throw me anything. I'm fine, whatever. So I did think that this took us all a bit by surprise. And then we all just started adapting. And I got to say, when we were doing our show, I mean, we did 3 hours of television in the middle of middle of a pandemic, and we pulled it off.
Yeah.
And I thought that you all did an amazing job too. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah,
so there's so many questions that I also have for all of you, and just on like what goes into a production. I mean, how much does a production even, how much does a show even cost to put together? And so there's a lot of questions that we're going to go to a break, but I would love to talk to you guys about so many things, and also the message that you would have to women out there, and especially young women who want to be you one day, So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I'm Sirina Fazan, and like most people, my skin is a priority. When you look good, you feel good. That's why I turned to South Tampa Dermatology, a full-service medical and cosmetic dermatology practice. Dr. Flynn and her dream team offer the products, services, and procedures I need to keep my skin healthy so I can perform at my very best, and they can do the very same thing for you. It's affordable, and your confidence is priceless. Just head to stderm.com or call 813-872-9551 to make an appointment.
At Precision, our mission is more than fixing broken garage doors.
I think it looks great.
And selling new ones.
It looks amazing.
We aim to help those in need and to honor and lift up those who are making a difference.
Thank you so much.
Through our outreach program called Opening Doors in Our Community. People like Steve Chamberlain, who is fitting kids with prosthetic legs.
The people I've met, the families, we've changed so many lives.
Or members of the military.
I'm the airman.
Oh boy, and I'm the Army.
Like Frank Elliott.
We're teamwork, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That's why we're here for you today.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
And of course, the people on the front lines during COVID. Like Jessica, an ER nurse. At Precision, we want to thank everyday heroes for all you do. It was an honor to help you, and together, we are opening doors in our community.
Hi guys, welcome back to On the Record. Wow, what a great show. I'm so excited because I have these amazing women joining me from Los Angeles. Rebecca Sirmons, Theresa McKeown, Jessica Everleth. Thank you guys so much coming out of California. Well, I'm so horrified that look, I even have the glasses just in case. I mean, seriously, it's like, okay, as a broadcaster, it's like your biggest nightmare, right? To screw up names of women you really admire. It's like, okay.
We've all done it, honey. We've all done it.
We all do it.
Guys, oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh. So you guys will appreciate the story. So the news director the Channel 10 here, the CBS station, Kelly Frank, was on my show and on the same topic of inspiring females like yourself. And I shared a post, on her page. And oh my gosh, there was a typo. Like, really, the news director? There's a typo? I mean, yeah. So it's reminiscent of your names, you know?
It happens all the time.
Yeah, happens all the time. And it seems like it happens to me all the time. I don't know why. But listen,
you know
ladies,
this
is
people
so
love
exciting.
when things like this happen. It helps them because then they know when they do it next time they won't feel so bad.
Yeah.
I personally,
don't get me started
I'm all
on
about
celebrity mishaps. You know.
Well,
yeah,
okay, so
really. Oh, I've had my fair share. Oh.
I would love to talk to you guys about that because, we see at the end of the day, you see a well-produced show typically, right? But there's got to be a lot of mishaps as the show is. Can you guys share some stories? Can you guys share some stories on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
Let's save
yeah. Let's see.
There's some that we can't share.
Like, where do we
Go ahead,
start?
honey. Yeah. I have a good one. When I
Okay.
first started in television, my first job was working for Norman Lear as a receptionist. So it was like this crazy switchboardy thing. And I mean, literally, it was Norman Lear, Bud Yorkin. It was just, he had like 8 shows on prime time. It was crazy time. And I'm brand new to the whole thing. So anyway, the phones went out one day. I called the phone company and I'm waiting for the guy. So finally this guy shows up in this like denim shirt and baseball cap, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God you're here! I'm so excited. I grabbed him. I literally almost threw him under the reception desk. I'm like, here's the problem. I'm not getting any incoming out calls. Blah blah. And he's like literally halfway under my desk, and he looks up at me and he's like, I'm here to see Norman. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What's your name? He's like, Burt Lancaster. I'm like,
oh my gosh, you're kidding.
I'm like, I can't Norman for you.
Oh my goodness.
I felt like such a, I mean, I literally had him like under, he was just going along because I was so pushy. He just was going along with it.
Was he gracious? Would you say he was very gracious?
Laughed. He thought it was pretty damn funny. Oh yeah. It was, and Norman got a kick out of it too. So thank God. He's like the nicest man in Hollywood. So I was safe there.
That's hilarious. So yeah. I always get a lot of questions too about this, like, how much really goes into getting them ready with the makeup artist and the hairstylist, and are a lot of celebrities divas? Would you guys say that? I know every person is different, of course, but.
Mm-hmm. I would, I'm going to say this because, I know this is a hot topic recently, but we'll say some good things. I worked several years at the Ellen DeGeneres show, right? Mm-hmm. I spent a lot,
I interviewed her too.
Experiences. Mm-hmm. Oh, amazing. Yeah. So I had a wonderful experience there. They hired me, they moved me out to California. They gave me my first break. Like it was in college at UCF, and they literally saw me as this, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, potential producer. And they gave me my first job, which set me off, career success. I had you worked at Ellen DeGeneres show. Great. And, I got to meet Obama. I got a hug from Obama.
Wow.
I met every president. I met Hillary Clinton. I gave her a handshake. I think I might have actually broke her thumb because I went in a little too hard. I was like, she's a politician. I'm going to get in there. I met Oprah several times, and so I've had only wonderful experiences. And I will say this is that people, you know, give Hollywood a bad rap. They're just people like us. They really are. And you know, but they have a lot weighing on them. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Can you imagine? I mean, I have a hard time even turning it on for, you know, just doing, you know, pitch meetings. So I can't imagine. I mean, Sarina, your job. I mean, my God. I mean, I stay behind the scenes for a reason.
No,
you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm hiding under the table when the cameras come on. You know, I'm great at telling other people what to do. You know, but you know, I've only had wonderful experiences, and you know, so to that, I'm sure there are awful ones, and I know there are, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But I don't know. As far as the women that I've worked with in industry, it's been
amazing. And Jessica, with you, like you've done a lot of crime shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
So I mean, believe me, when I was in traditional news, people would always say, "Oh gosh, you get the saddest stories, the saddest cases." How does that affect you personally by doing a lot of these really in-depth, you know, really sad, tragic cases?
Sometimes it depends on the program, but I mean, I like working on programs where it's going to have an impact, like in the case of R. Kelly, we spoke to the Me Too movement. So the things that have a positive outcome, I can really get behind it, even though it may be difficult. I mean, I cried surviving R. Kelly. I cry on a lot of these shows that I work on, but it's just these stories need to be told.
See, and I feel the same way because people have asked me too, like, does it affect you? Absolutely. Everything. The happy stories affect me. The sad stories affect me. Yes, I cry. Yes, I think about it. To me, it's not, okay, well, I do this story and then it's over. Like just what you talked about, Theresa, just a few minutes ago when you said that you continued to talk to Joe Exotic on the phone. Like you
I mean,
can't
now
get him out of your
I'll
mind.
never not talk to him. No, I mean, I care. I truly care. And I see an injustice, and I'm not gonna be silent about it. So,
Yeah.
he's done he's no angel. Trust me. I'm not like some Pollyanna that doesn't know that can be a complete idiot sometimes. But I also have seen his heart, and I also know how much he loves animals, and I've seen it and I've witnessed it. And I did an interview with him several years ago that, I was hooked after that. I mean, I saw who he was, and, in his soul, he does care about not only animals, he cares a lot about children, especially children with special needs. And he's done a lot of charitable work that no one ever talks about. And, he's started organizations for animals that are amazing. So, but yeah, you don't let it go. I certainly don't. I mean, you have to be made of stone not to be affected by some of the stories, Yeah.
So speaking of stories, and we had talked about this earlier about, continuing, right? And like Hollywood opening. Do you feel that a lot of the filming and producing is going to be done out of California? Like, do other states right now have more opportunities because California is still closed? I mean, when I say closed, it's slowly coming back, right? Or
opening.
You guys can speak. You guys can speak to that.
It's opening up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's opening up more and more. I think they have testing, obviously, and just working with the local guidelines. But I mean, yes, certainly other states are less restrictive, and when it comes to producing unscripted content, it might be a little bit easier. But when you're dealing with actors and you're dealing with the scripted world, I mean, there's the actors have to get tested almost daily. Almost every crew member has to get tested daily.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a workaround,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the young women too that are watching this podcast and looking at all your careers and like, wow, or like I live in Oklahoma, or I live in Tennessee, I live in Washington State, I want to get involved in this, or I want to be them. What advice would you have? And we can start. Rebecca, do you want to start? We could go Rebecca, Jessica, then Theresa.
Yeah. I would honestly follow. I would find a mentor. First and foremost, I'd find somebody that you can kind of learn from, somebody whose career you respect. But no matter what, don't give up and just keep moving forward. Like, just don't give up and don't stop. Don't stop moving. Go big. Don't just settle. You know, if you want to, major in film, do it. Do the difficult jobs. You do have to work your way up. And so that's kind of my biggest,
It's great advice.
It's a lot of people settle, and I just don't think that that's what you should do, because you won't move forward.
Rebecca, before we go to Jessica on answering that question, do you feel for someone that is pursuing this type of industry that they should move to California, or do you feel like you could do it in multiple different states?
To be honest, I would love to be able to live in Florida and work. I would love to be able to do it. I'd love to go home. I feel like I'm held hostage out here. I love Florida. I do have connections to the Florida Film Office, and I want the industry there to be more. If more of us could do what you're doing and be out there and grow the industry and to kind of make it more accessible, have more people generating content, so opening up to pitching more networks. I think that that's the way to kind of be able to, stay. But I do think you need to go to New York and LA to really learn what you need to do and then go back.
Got it. No, that's great. So Jessica, what about you? Like what advice would you have to young women or any age, like maybe you're in your 40s and you want to, like revamp yourself, right? So what advice would you have?
I would read, I would study, I would get involved in, your local film society. I would join various social media groups. There's Facebook, Instagram, ways to work, get involved with the Producers Guild, the Television Academy. There's so many ways you can get involved and find a mentor who will give you advice and kind of, listen to what you want to do with your career path, and then help you start moving forward. It really depends on where you live. So if you live in a bigger city, Chicago, New York, Boston, San Francisco, LA, I know it makes a bit of a difference, getting connected. But if you live in a smaller town, I think we film all over the country, and there are groups in every city. So it's just a matter of just getting plugged in, and definitely, as Rebecca said, find a mentor, somebody who will, somebody you respect, and somebody who can help shape your career. I had a mentor, and she helped me get my first job in this business, and so I try to do the same for other women.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys are such great role models. Theresa, so now I turn to you. What would your advice be?
Well, I totally agree with what both of the girls are saying here. It's really all about relationships in this industry. I think even more so than any other industry. So many of the opportunities I've had have been because of, I just get a phone call from someone I worked with in the past. It's almost like being a small business where it's all about referrals. It's all about reputation. You need to show up. You need to have a great attitude. You need to work really hard, and you need to command respect. And I feel that, in my experience, I've felt lucky on so many levels, getting great opportunity, but I also know that when I got an opportunity, I did everything in my power to basically do the best possible job I could. And it wasn't like this is, right. Yeah, it's like, it's not about, oh, this is not the job you hired me for, or this is above my pay grade. There was nothing above my pay grade. There was nothing I wouldn't do. And people remember that, and then they will call you or think of you or recommend you. And literally, the more people you get to know and the more people you get to show really who you are, and you show up as a good person that's willing to work with a strong work ethic, and I promise you'll go far. And having a mentor is just icing on the cake. It's the best thing I could recommend. And if it's a female, awesome. It doesn't have to be. I had a male mentor when I was starting out, then I had a female mentor, but I've always had a mentor, and I've always mentored, because you got to give back.
Yes.
key to life. Give
Mhm.
back, right? So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So the
Yeah.
common theme I heard definitely was a mentor. Work ethic, absolutely. And and I feel like
Huge.
to give back too, that's why I have interns. And I always say, you just need
Mm-hmm.
to work hard and like nothing is above the pay grade or below the pay grade. It doesn't matter. When you're given a job,
Mm-mm.
do it well and do it with passion. So
Yes.
thanks to Jessica for finding me. I can't talk about the next project. She knows because she's my mentor. She's my mentor in this industry, right? So
There you
it's
go.
thanks to Jessica referred me to another project that for right now is off the record. But again, she knows because she's
Soon to
my
be on the
mentor.
record.
But it was thanks to her. It was like she found me to do Joe Exotic. Then now, and thank you again so much, Jessica, but referred
welcome.
me
Of course.
to somebody else, which I'm so excited about. And then to have you, honestly, to ask those the questions that are the questions that make me uncomfortable are all right, like what's my rate? What should I, I don't want to, those type of questions. You do need a mentor, especially when you're starting.
Yes.
And if you're uncomfortable, but you have someone that you can ask, it just sets, so thank you. You are, for me, again, my mentor. And I so appreciate it. And
so welcome.
you're just going to have to get used to me texting and calling. What she said to me, she's like, maybe we'll just have Rebecca and Theresa do the podcast. I'm like, oh, no. Jessica, the reason why they're doing the podcast is because you introduced me in the first place. So before we wrap up, I would love to hear your next are you allowed to say your next projects? Theresa, you said, can you tell us the name of the judge, or is that off the record?
I can tell you the name of the podcast.
Okay.
It's called The Judge and the Journalist.
Ooh.
And we're basically digging into court cases. You could probably guess which one we'd start with. And we're going to be shooting the pilot or taping the pilot down in your neighborhood. Maybe we'll grab coffee while I'm there.
No, I was going to say, please come by. I would love it. When are you flying in?
Yeah. I fly in Monday night, so I think Wednesday I probably have some time. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, definitely. We are definitely. I'd love for you to come to the studio, too, to visit the studio.
I would love that. And I'd love to bring my little judge friend. Yes, she's awesome. You'll
that
love
would be
her.
fantastic.
Again,
She's great.
and I love it. She's a woman. She was like the youngest woman superior judge in Florida. She's so awesome. I love her. Yeah,
I am
super
so looking
smart.
forward to it. So Jessica, when we did Joe Exotic, Tigers, Lies, and Cover Up, Paul Cisco, who's a local attorney in town, he is married to Judge Michelle Cisco, who was on my podcast as well under this Inspiring Women umbrella, and she's amazing. So, learning about inspiring women. I love the title of the podcast. That's so cool. So
Thank
Rebecca,
you.
what are you?
Yeah.
Rebecca, I know with you, it's being a mom right now is like huge focus.
So, right now we have currently in production, and it was announced. It's called Range to Table. It's a series on Magnolia, Chip and Joanna Gaines' new network, and so that is coming out soon. We have the pilot episode is actually airing on Discovery Plus as we speak. So please tune into that. It's a fun cooking show, and about a woman who runs one of the oldest land grants in California, female ranch owner. And then we have a currently produced podcast it's on the Lori Vallow investigation. It's called The Chosen Ones. It's hosted by Celine Beth Calderon. And she's a My Favorite Murder alumni. So that's pretty exciting. So that's kind of what we have. A few other projects that have been greenlit, have not been announced yet, but projects all over the map, which is good, right?
That's so exciting. And Jessica, what about you? Are you working on any current project right now?
I am pitching a couple of projects. So I have network meetings all week. So hopefully one of them will go soon.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So in closing, is there anything that, I do. Theresa, you said you wrote 3 books, right? 3 children's books? Mm-hmm. What are the names of the books?
It's called, the first one is How to Eat Your ABCs. It's for really young kids about fruits and vegetables. The second one is The ABCs of Being Me. Every letter of the alphabet is a character, trait. So it's all about kindness and appreciation and beauty and all that. And then the third one is The ABCs of Living Green, which is really every letter of the alphabet is a word about the planet, like how to take care of each other and the planet, R is for respect and, that kind of thing. And they get progressively older. They're very sweet. They're very, very sweet books. So
Yeah, they
I enjoyed writing them. They're not money makers, trust me. But I don't care. They came from my heart, and I think they make a difference in at least one child's life. So that's good enough for me for now,
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait.
I can't wait to meet you. Yeah,
I can't wait to meet you guys. I mean, always welcome here. Is there anything that any of you would like to say in closing? Honestly, it's been such an honor and privilege to have you on.
I just have one thing I want to say that just hit me when you were talking, is that I would really encourage anyone, women and men, to get into this business, because you have experiences that very few people ever get to do. You have access. I mean, I landed on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean. I've been to NORAD. Like the opportunities that come when you are in this industry are pretty amazing, and you will live a very rich life if this is your chosen field. You will work very hard, but you will live life.
I know. Every day is a different day. I know. You were going to say, Rebecca? You were going to say something?
And I would that in the second Teresa's comment on that is that don't go into it for the money. Don't think you're gonna be filthy rich. You got to do it because you love it. You know, you have to really have the passion, because that's where the hard work comes in. I mean, the money will come, yes, but you can't look at it that way.
Yeah, you have to love it so much you do it for free, I think.
Yes.
One thing I was going to add was, we're all at home in quarantine. One thing you can do besides social media is Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys have the Clubhouse app.
Oh yeah.
But you can
what is
use
Clubhouse? Tell us.
Oh,
You
I'll
know
invite
Clubhouse?
you. We'll invite you.
Yeah. It's a social media app where you can join conversations and literally network, walk into different rooms and meet people you never would get to meet otherwise. So I highly recommend Clubhouse for that.
I love it. I would love to be invited. And and you guys are all right. This has to be a passion. I mean, my first job, I made $18,000 a year, and I had to do a double shift at a restaurant, waitressing. And I worked prior to that. I worked for free to get a tape together to be a broadcast journalist. But you've got to love it, and you've got to be willing to do it. For free, even as you said, to make it. But it is such an enriching career. You get to meet so many amazing people on the record. And it's great. But you guys will have to come back on my podcast and come back here personally. But thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate it.
That was a privilege to be on this show. Yes, thrilled. Thank
Good.
you.
That means you guys are going to come back. Yay!
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You make this easy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank
you do a very good job, young lady. That's all I have.
I know.
Believe
me, I was sweating this. I don't do these things. So I was like, all right, I trust Sarina. Yeah, I trust her. Yeah. So I'll do this.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, that means the world. No, that really means the world to me. That means the world to me. I mean, I do love my job, but I love sharing people's stories, and I love spreading the message, and especially a message of inspiring women and for people to look up to. So thank you so much again, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I so appreciate it. Also, remember, just send me who you would like on the show, and we will try our very best to get them on. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms, and I really, really do appreciate it. Thanks again. Have a great day.